Welcome to the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm Mike Vennard, your host, and with me today is Randy Mowry. He's one of our master hearth professionals here at Woodland Direct. Today's episode is how do I convert my wood fireplace to gas? Let's get into it. Hey Randy, how you doing, man?
Good, Mike. How's it going today, sir?
It is going well. You're still making it to the office. I think during this whole COVID-19 thing here, you've been one of the, since they've reopened the offices, you've been one of the faithful getting back in there.
Oh, I love it. The drive, it's been nice because there's a lot less traffic. So that typical 45-minute drive is really only about 20.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it, to get out of the dungeon of my basement that has no windows in it. I welcome the office. I welcome the drive. And I listen to podcasts on my way.
Isn't that nice? Yes. I love it. I was
is.
doing the same thing yesterday on my way into the office. So it's a different world we live in right now. But the thing we have discovered is by people being back in their homes, they are putting their attention and their time and their money into their homes. And I do think that this whole COVID experience has changed a lot of how the workforce is going to function in the future. And people are trying to tidy up their homes, make them a space that they want to be in all the time because we've been forced to be in them all the time, right?
Oh, my gosh. I could not tell you, Mike, how many phone calls and conversations that I've had where yes, my honey-do list is 90% done that I've been putting off for years.
Yes.
It's like I've seen complete backyards redone, kitchens completely remodeled, bedrooms, you name it. And, and more now these fireplaces. I think we're chatting today about converting wood burners to gas.
Yep. Yeah. And that's one of the things that people take a look at and go, man, I don't want to go outside and cut wood, especially now that we're in the middle of July, right? So what can I do with this fireplace? And yeah, let's just jump into it right there. That's the common thing.
When existing wood burning fireplaces, of course, can be either masonry, all brick and mortar with a brick and mortar clay lined chimney. Could be a house that's 100 years old, or something that's fairly new if somebody built a full masonry fireplace, or zero clearance prefabricated wood burning fireplaces where it's a metal box that has a refractory panel inside, but it has a metal flue that goes up through the chimney that they've been using for burning wood. Both of these can be converted to gas fireplaces. Is there going to be a little bit more work on one versus the other? Yes. Masonry is going to be a little bit more trying, of course, because you're going to have to cut through the masonry. But the first thing that when someone asks me that when they call us, I stress the importance of the safety part of it. Getting the fireplace, whether it's a prefab metal or masonry, getting that fireplace inspected by a chimney sweep, which may or may not include a camera down it to make sure the integrity of the chimney is in shape. Because even though you're converting to gas, the fireplace has to be inspected to operate in a manner that it can burn wood.
Right.
Because what I let them know is you may think it's your permanent home, it may not. And if you sell it and the next person comes and pulls that gas log out and wants to burn wood, it has to be a full function fireplace for that. So that's usually step one right there.
Right. So help our listeners understand, who would they call in that scenario? It's not something that a homeowner can just stick his head up the chimney and sneak a peek at, right?
No, you want to call your local licensed chimney sweep company. They're going to have the professional cleaning tools. They're going to have the professional equipment to do the inspection of everything. There may be some deteriorating mortar on a masonry fireplace that needs to be repaired before. It may need to be cleaned, getting the soot off of it. So there's some cleaning things and some guides that they can assist you with. And same thing with the metal. The refractory panels may be completely deteriorated and or cracked. So you want a certified chimney sweep to come out and do these inspections and these cleanings for you before you do anything.
Absolutely. So here comes my chimney sweeping professional. I know, Randy, for the sweeps that we do a lot of business with and we partner with, they can really handle this situation from start to finish for you. And it's a situation where we're going back to, again, if you're dealing with gas, which you're going to need, right? And you're going to need electrical, you really need to lean on a pro. And a lot of our sweeps already have that for you. What's your experience been with working with our sweeps and getting them into a house? How would it function? If I'm a homeowner and I bring a sweep in, could I lean on them to do the job from start to finish?
No, that's a great point, because a lot of the chimney sweep companies around the country, this could easily be a turnkey installation for them, meaning they're going to be able to come in and do the cleaning, the advisement, also the installation, and or they work with a local gas pro that can come in and run the gas line, and they take care of everything else. Their gas contractor comes and does the connection for them. So it could easily be a complete turnkey where the homeowner doesn't have to search out a chimney sweep, a gas contractor, a contractor to cut the holes. It could be all in one, but that is a good question for them. A lot of the guys that we work with, they do turnkey. So if we refer them to a homeowner that's looking to purchase a gas log, not only are they going to do the cleaning, they're also going to be able to do the installation of that log set fully from start to finish. So it's definitely a question worth asking when you make your initial call, because that's going to determine whether you're just going to use one contractor versus another. That's all.
For sure. So we've got everything swept. The whole chimney is cleaned, repaired if it needs to be repaired. The sweep is going to come out and look at the top of your chimney as well, what we call the wash, and make sure that there's no deterioration there. If you have a clay flue, he's going to make sure everything is good there and everything is clean, because you have to remember, even though you're switching from wood to gas, there's still going to be heat going up that flue, and inside of that it's going to warm any of the old remnants that are in that flue, and that's going to melt. Really, it's just going to melt and drip down your chimney. So that is one of the important reasons, but also we want to make sure that we stay away from the opportunity for any combustibles inside of that chimney flue starting a fire.
Absolutely. Because there's a couple, we're talking about converting wood to gas, and some of the folks that call in, they may be calling in to do what they call a gas insert, not necessarily gas log set. And so with gas inserts, for example, if it's a direct vent, which has to reline the clay lined chimney with a couple, like 2-3 inch liners, the misunderstanding that it doesn't have to be cleaned because we're relining it. Why do I have to have it cleaned and inspected? So it is important. That's definitely the first step. We want to make sure that all of that's done properly and safely.
You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast.
All right, so let's say we've got that done, and now we need gas. Let's just talk through that.
The gas itself, from the installation standpoint, will be the gas contractor, whomever's going to run that. The information that they're going to need from the homeowner, from us, is what type of appliance that they're using, it's called water column readings. What are the gas pressure water column readings? And that's all can be based on the appliance that a homeowner chooses, whether that is what they call a vented gas log set or a vent-free gas log set, whether that is a direct vent fireplace insert or a vent-free fireplace insert. It's kind of like 4 different options, so to speak, there, depending on the application. Brick and mortar masonry fireplaces, those fireplaces, the vessel itself, firebox, the chimney, we can use that fireplace for vented. We can use that fireplace for vent-free, direct vent insert, or vent-free insert, okay? It's a matter of just sizing each product accordingly based on what the fireplace dimensions are, height, width, depth, that type of thing. Then you have what's called the prefabricated fireplaces that we had mentioned previously with the metal flue pipe, the refractory panels on the inside. We have some limitations there. There are a lot of those that in the owner's manual that are not applicable at all for a ventless gas log set. And the reason being is because a ventless product, we're closing down the dampers on the inside of them. So on a prefabricated fireplace, those we have to remember those are metal fireplaces, and they're nailed into a wood 2x4 constructed base on the inside. And the ventless product is designed to create heat into the space, and a lot of it. So a lot of those early wood-burning fireplaces do not have a rating to do a ventless gas log set in them. You definitely want to call that manufacturer fireplace. If you don't have your manual, it'll be spelled out in the manual, whether it's a vented or vent, it'll call out gas logs specifically, and search out the manufacturer to get that information.
Yeah, that is a great point, Randy. On a masonry style, you can go either way, but when you get into a lot of these metal boxes, you have to be aware that they're made to be next to wood, and they're made, if it's a wood burning box, they're made to have a big opening that's going to allow a lot of that heat. And that's how they got their rating, is with that heat being vented through that pipe so it doesn't radiate in the box for so long. If you're talking about going to a ventless or a vent-free gas log set, then all of that heat is going to sit inside of that box and push into the room. So it's a completely different rating. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a very solid point when people are looking at what type of box they have. Another point there real fast is when your sweep goes through, he's going to be able to tell you what type of box you have. So again, another reason we lean back on that pro, when he's coming through and runs the brush down, he's going to know what type of box you have and should be able to find the rating for it as well, either on site or online. From there, we've got the sweep in, we've identified the box style that we have. We need to work through with the homeowner the difference between vented and vent-free log sets so that they're aware of the nuances of each. In terms of converting that box at this point, where can we go from here?
It's going to be what the client's looking for. We'll go back to the scenario if they've been burning wood all these years. They like that big roaring fire, and they're just tired of cutting the wood, huffing it inside the house, and they want to go to gas. So if a client calls with that in mind, we're going to gear them towards vented. It's a decorative appliance. It's a vented gas log set. We can get vented gas log sets all the way up to 100,000 plus BTUs. With the proper fitting, of course, of the fireplace. But that's where we're going to get that nice big flame presentation out of it. It's going to require the flue to be open, just as if you were burning wood, but it gives that nice big flame. We can get some really nice, realistic looking logs in there. And, and then the client's, extremely happy. From an installation standpoint for the gas contractor, gas log sets are some of the easiest and most common installations for the gas guys. It's just getting them the correct information for the correct gas line sizing, the pressures for that vented gas log set. Now, masonry fireplace, let's say that, they're tired of burning the wood and it's sucking all the heat out of the house. They want to be able to maintain some of that heat, but they want to still use their fireplace, but they just want to do gas logs. That's where ventless gas logs come into play. We have some really nice looking ventless gas logs. Now, you're going to sacrifice some flame presentation, because now we're going from that scenario of a vented log set, 100,000 BTUs, real big roaring flame. We're going down to a maximum of any size, whether it's a 36-inch size, down, they max out at 40,000 BTUs. So we're sacrificing flame for heat. So and I do let folks know it's one or the other. Do we want presentation decorative, or do we want heat? And when we want heat, we're going to go to ventless product, ventless log set, because that's what they're designed to do. They're 99.9% efficient. Most efficient way to use a log set.
While they're thinking about this, Randy, what other things should they consider when it comes to converting to gas?
I think the most important thing is going to be in regards to why are they converting? Are we converting to gas, for just the presentation, we're done burning wood, or are we tired of losing heating and air conditioning in our fireplace and we want heat out of it? So once we've narrowed that down, then it becomes what type of appliance do I want? And then that's going to be restrictive based on if it's a masonry or a prefabricated fireplace.
Right.
So can it be converted to gas? Absolutely. Choosing the correct appliance, and then of course getting with that gas contractor, whether that's the chimney sweep as a full turnkey style installation, and making sure they can get the gas supply to the fireplace, and making sure that it's economical for them. Like you alluded to, we talked about the planning part of it, and as important it is, can I convert it? It's the cost of converting it as well. Maybe getting with the gas contractor prematurely. Out there there was a lot of property and acreage. A lot of folks are operating on propane.
Right.
A propane tank where you have a 500,000 gallon tank, that tank might be 300 feet from a house. Am I going to be able to get that gas to my fireplace? So those are some questions that they want to be able to, they want to get answered on the front end for sure.
Don't bother shopping for an appliance until you know you can supply it, right? We've run into that multiple times. And sometimes they do have gas, but the amount of gas or the water column that they're going to be able to push doesn't supply what they would like to have. And that's what a pro is going to do. If you look at a pro and say, hey, I want a direct vent insert in this firebox, the first thing he's going to do is climb under the house or into the basement and look for your gas line, see the size of gas line that you have, where it's running from, how far, or the distance of that run that it's going to take to get to that firebox before he even really starts to consider, can I drill a hole to get that pipe open through?
Absolutely. I've had gas contractors where they've, the fireplace is on the opposite end of where the meter's at and where that meter comes into the house, and they're crawling around in a crawl space to run gas line to the entire opposite end of the house, because now, we're converting that wood burner to a gas product. You want to make sure that you can get it there first, because we know, and we're happy to, express to folks of what avenues, to go to get these, like we talked about the chimney sweep and how to start that process. But we don't want, we want to be conscious of folks' time as well. We don't want to spend, hours and days working to choose the right appliance, that we think is going to work, to find out that they can't even get it there, or they can't get the correct BTUs there. So we want to try to save folks that time on the front end as well.
100% agree. To every project, there's a way to set it up, and I hope that's what our listeners are hearing from us right now. Get that pro out there who sweeps chimneys for a living. That's what they do. A lot of times that pro is a gas professional. We know quite a few of those chimney sweeps that are gas contractors and can do that work for you. 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit the gold mine right there. They're going to be able to tell you everything. If not, though, you're going to get your chimney swept. They're going to say, yeah, I can do this install. You got to have the gas pro come out and run the line, and they usually have a connection for you. At that point, once you know, yes, I can run gas there, yes, I can run just about anything in that scenario, then we can start digging into, okay, what do you want? Do you want that same fireplace just with a gas log set in it? Or do you want to put an insert in there so you can gain some efficiencies and also have a nice faceplate around it that's going to maybe cover up a little bit of the dark stone from the old wood burning? There are a lot of options from there that we can walk through with clients. In terms of, can I convert? Usually you can, but you do need to get an inspection to make sure first. And then you need to make sure that you can run the gas line to that spot. So start there. Once you do that and hey, this can work for me, give us a call. We have Master Heart professionals standing by to talk you through what products you're going to need. They can also talk with your pro in terms of BTU needs and water column needs. so that as they test that gas line, we'll be able to speak to which log set or which appliance is going to work best for you. We really appreciate our listeners, really appreciate our pros out there and any of the homeowners that are listening, trying to keep you safe and give you the best advice we can from our years of experience to make sure that you get the home that you deserve, and that's the home of your dreams. I want to thank everybody for listening today. Thank you, Randy, for your time, brother. I really do appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Next time, we're going to talk about what do I need to know before buying gas logs. We'll see you then.